Hey everybody, welcome back to Landshark Garage. Let's get after this thing. If you remember back the last 3,000 episodes that we've been working on this big bitch, we ended up taking out the window on the front door to replace this sash, which we finally got everything we needed to do that, so we're going to work on that a little bit this episode. Right now, which I'm not going to tape, I am taking this channel out of this wing window about a quarter of an inch at a time because it's so brittle. What's up, buddy? Huh? What's the matter? Huh? Yeah, good dog. Yes, you are. Okay. So here's something you might want to save for later. Put in your like file, bookmark, whatever you do to have a frame of reference for something if you ever do this piece of channel trim that goes in here. It takes about 25 minutes to get that old channel out if it's like this. So this is about how big of a pile you should have when you clean out that channel on the wing window. And the reason I put it all on the table like that is because Jake, the Wonder Dog, thinks everything on the floor tastes good. If it's on a counter like this, nope. But as soon as it hits the floor, yep. So I try to keep it on the counter, not in the dog. So we're going to go ahead and start working on this window that we have to put in that door right there and set the sash on it. We're using this is Martin Senior product. It's a glass setting butyl tape I got from my buddy Adam. Thanks, Adam. Appreciate it. Because I needed about this much, about a foot, and he had a whole roll of it. I didn't need a whole roll of it. Actually, this is the size I needed right here. I've had it hanging up over my heater because I left it in my vehicle, and I want it to get a little pliable, so I just kind of got it hanging up where it's warm, because the rest of that is probably pretty chilly from sitting in my work truck. But thanks again, Adam. Yeah, so we're going to set that butyl tape in there, put the side window on the glass so we can get that back in there. All right, so I have that butyl tape and I got it stretched out, and I'm gonna try and do this without breaking the window. That'd be great. So if you remember from when we did this before, I kind of marked this so I knew where it needed to be on the window. And that butyl tape just kind of lays in the sash. I don't know that it needs to lay the whole distance in there. Maybe it does. I'm trying to stretch it out kind of thin because this still has to be put over the end of the window. Alright, so I got my mark, got my tape in there, and then you kind of just work this down on there. I'm not really sure if that's how that's supposed to go or not. Get that tape to squeeze, because once it gets in the channel and stuff, it doesn't really have any place to go. So it is on there nice and solid, but you can see it's still a little wiggly, but I could pick the window up with it. Yeah, so we should be good. helps it set. I'll probably leave that on there for a while. All right. So let that sit in there. I don't know if it really dries, that butyl tape, because it's just in a box, you know, so it's just a mostly, I think, to hold it on there. But I'll probably work on that a little bit before I get it put in there. Want to see my cool hammer rack I built? I kind of got a hammer issue, so I built this rack out of a old piece of fence that I had and some steel I had laying around. Cleared out 3.5 drawers in my toolbox just by building this hammer rack. And this is mostly dead blow hammers, beater bag hammers, and body hammers. Not a lot of, oh, there's some ball peens and some trim hammers back there. But I have some pictures of that on our Instagram channel, Landshark Garage. You want to go take a look at it. So we're going to get this jammed back in that door. All right, well, we got this all back together, and it was a challenge. To do this the right way, you take this rivet out on the pivot, and there's a pair of rivets up here and a pair of rivets down here, and you separate this into 2 pieces. And then you put this rubber seal in, and the seal that goes along here, which, as you can see, it is also riveted in. And then you rivet this all back together, and you rivet the wing in, and you're done. Well, I started putting the weather stripping in after I got the sash on the window. I put that back in. It just in the reverse way that I took it out, and then I put this piece back in after we did this, and then started doing the trim, and I'll finish that by just running it down here. That's pretty straightforward. This is not a real hard replacement deal. This is a marriage tester, this deal here. I'm glad we didn't record that, because we got it done, but it was a challenge, because this rubber trim has to slip in to the channel that holds this. These rivets are not like pop rivet gun rivets. They're the rivets that you put in and put this on a solid surface and then mushroom it with the rivet punch that kind of puts the rosette in it. Same way with these. So you had to have something that sat in here and held that, and we're doing this all out on the bench. And yeah, it wasn't fun. It wasn't a good time. But everything's in. We just gotta like pull the rubber trim out from underneath here, and we got it on that window. I don't anticipate doing it on the other door anytime soon. We'll put the channel trim around it, and we'll have this piece if we ever decide we want to go down that road again. I only ordered that because I had this wing window out to put the sash in the glass. So, and I've got the pieces that go along there that I'll put in too. But something I never done. I wouldn't be afraid to do it again. But this system here, that was challenging. Aggravating is a lot better word. But there you go. Window trim installed. Thanks for following along. Never forget, drive your shit. We'll see ya.